That's you live, Claire.
Hello and welcome to the Virtual Nature School. I'm Dr. Claire Warden and I'm here today to talk a little bit about inquiry-based learning, and then we're going to watch our provocation film and then maybe think about what it is that some children might want to do with that provocation film. So the whole thing about inquiry-based learning for us is that we give provocations, we give suggestions, we fill the child's mind with possibilities. And so when you're having that consultation with children and when they're driving forward their thinking, they've already got an awareness of what they might want to do. That makes consultation much easier because you're framing that dialogue. You're saying, here are some possibilities, here are some things you want to think about, but where you go to in your play, where you go to in your inquiry is absolutely in the control of the child. So an inquiry-based learning is actually very fluid. It's a very flexible way to work. We're still covering, don't forget, all of those core skills. We're covering all of the curriculum, but what we're doing is starting with the child and then tracking back, looking at what learning has taken place with the curriculum towards the end of the day, so that children still feel very empowered. So one of the things I'd like to do now is to offer you the ideas around open-ended play affordance materials. So we have lots of things in the natural world, the sticks, the leaves, everything that's around us is something that has a high play affordance because it can be used in a million different ways. This week, we're going through that lens of boxes. So boxes are one of those things that has a high play affordance, because you can do it and use them in 1,000 different ways. So let's have a look at our film introducing the initial stages of our inquiry around boxes.
Hello, welcome to this inquiry, which is called It's Not Just a Box. So let's remind ourselves what it's all about. Well, it's all about you creating really good memories of playing. And one of the things that's important to remember is that you have a memory book. And in your memory book, you can write down your ideas and your theories, but also maybe put in a few photographs so that you can remember all the amazing things that you've been doing. We have a talking tub. We're going to look in that talking tub and it's going to give us photographs and sometimes objects for us to look at. And when we do that, it helps us think. So we put together our objects and then we ask ourselves questions. And they're usually wondering questions because we don't know the answer to them. And that means that it's good fun to find out the answer to some of these big questions. So the question we've got on our box today is, what could we make with a box? Well, the question is just so simple, but the answer is incredibly complicated. Because just imagine if you opened up that box and there was a photograph of a robot made of boxes. I wonder what's inside the green box. I wonder how he got there. Who made him? How many boxes did it take? Could we even make one like that? What size would it be? So straight away from one photograph, we have 1,000 questions that give us lots of ideas of things to follow up. You could cut up your box. You could reshape it and make it into something new. So this has become an astronaut with a rocket. This one has become a beautiful castle. And so sometimes we can use an idea that just takes us a few hours. And it's okay sometimes to have ideas that take us 2 or 3 days. So if you decide that you want to make a bigger project, that's fantastic. And we can just keep on catching up to see how you're getting on. It's always lovely to hide inside a box, playing games of hide and seek. Turning things into something else is always such fun. You might decide that you don't want to get in a box, but you want to put a box inside a box. It might be that you decide to put lots of little boxes inside a big box. All of those things are really good fun and they really help us learn about shapes. You might decide to sit in a box, in which case you might want somebody to push you around and pretend you're in a car. You might decide to turn yours into a boat. It's entirely up to you. This little girl is playing with some cardboard boxes that are all the same shape and size. So she's been making a wall, a construction using her boxes. When you play with blocks or when you play with boxes, you can make different towers. This one is quite clever because it's only actually overlapping with the corner. And so we can make things that are very stable and very strong, but we can also make wobbly towers. And I wonder if you're going to be able to make a tower that's taller than you. Here's a different design. So this is very flat, but every now and again they put two boxes together and then another box on top. So you can change all the patterns that you test and write down your ideas in your memory book. Perhaps you'll build a wall that's as big as this. I can't imagine that anybody would have this many boxes, but this is all made of cardboard boxes. You could make yourself up a game of counting. You could decide to have one box and then two and then three, and then you can take two piles of boxes and add them together. So we could take one box and add three boxes, and then we're going to have four boxes altogether. Well, guess what you need to find? The things you might find useful: boxes. Tiny, tiny boxes, medium-sized boxes, large boxes. They come in all shapes and sizes. Don't forget, you need to look for them. So you might have to go to where your cereal is kept. You might need to go under your bed and see if there's some toys in an old box. You might need to go into your wardrobe and see if there's some shoes in a box. So they're hiding all over your house and your garage, so you're going to need to go on a hunt to find them. Now, there are certain things that make it easy for shaping and cutting and changing your box. And the first thing you can see has got a big red oval around it. That's because it needs a grown-up, needs an adult to use it. So this is what you call a bread knife, and it's got a zigzaggy edge on it. And it's jolly handy if you want to cut cardboard. When you're designing, you might want to use a big marker pen so that the grown-ups know which lines to cut along. You might want to use a ruler or a tape measure so you're accurate in your design, and it's always handy to have a nice strong tape there that you can use to attach other things to your box. The top tip is it's jolly handy to actually put these little dots along a line that you want to fold, because it makes it much easier to bend the cardboard around. It's going to be fabulous to start our inquiry because you can build anything with your box. Throughout the inquiry, we're going to be looking at boxes for insects. We're going to be looking at boxes for vegetables and how to grow them. We're going to be thinking about memory boxes and treasure boxes and gift boxes. So we're going to be doing lots of things over the inquiry. But on this particular inquiry, it's all about construction and building, reshaping a cardboard box. I look forward to seeing you in the virtual classroom.
Well, lots of possibilities with boxes this week. And so it's wonderful to have our friends online. And if you're anywhere in the world watching this, do put in where you're from, because it's always lovely to see. So we've got friends from Stirlingshire, obviously from Stirling itself. We've got friends who are coming from all over Scotland. And as I said, all over the world. We've got people in Bermuda and Australia, Hong Kong. So it's lovely that you've joined us. And it's a fascinating thing to realize that we're all going to be investigating a similar type of thing around boxes, but each of us will come up with our very own unique designs. That's the joy of an open-ended inquiry. And so what's really super is that when we come to share our ideas, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and we share our ideas so that we can listen to each other's theories. We can ponder whether or not we like the idea that somebody else has got, and we might decide to include their idea or build on their idea in our own plans and designs. So I mentioned in that film about getting yourself a memory book. Don't forget, you can download those for free. You can go on to the Mind Stretchers Academy site and get a nature play diary if you like that idea, or you could just get yourself a book that you want to use during our learning sessions. All right, I think it's time for us to see if anyone on our live chat has got some ideas about what they're going to construct with their boxes. So Sarah and her team have said they're thinking about making boxes for Tigger the cat and Bailey the dog. And that means there may be real live dogs and cats, because we know that it's not just humans that love being inside boxes, it's cats and dogs as well. Maybe you've got a toy at home that you want to make a little den or a little adventure park with, using the cardboard boxes that we've talked about. So we've got Finn and Abigail are with us, and they've got a new friend, Isabel, who's just 2 years old, who's come online to join us today. And so it's lovely to have you with us, Nicola, and all of your friends that you're working with today. So there's things to be done. So let's get busy. Let's go and find a cardboard box. Go outside, take some inspiration from the natural world. You might decide that there's something out there that just gives you the idea of building something. Maybe it will be a tree. Maybe you want to build a big tower like a giant rock. I look forward to hearing about all your ideas. Don't forget, we've got a Twitter channel, so you can always write so it's at V Nature School, and that'll tag us in a post and we'll be able to see what you're up to. Or join us if you're in Scotland in our Facebook groups. I look forward to seeing what you've been up to. See you later, everybody. Bye.